following is a presentation of Main Street Media, your source for news, sports, and information on Main Street in Middle Tennessee. Welcome into a Reaction Monday edition of Main Street Sports. Today, we'll react to a crazy weekend of sports, including top SEC teams bidding farewell to the NCAA. Zach Womble with Main Street Preps joins the conversation on the Vols exodus. VANDY knocks out the top-seeded Flyers from Dayton in the NIT, plus reaction to the BLUECROSS championships over the weekend. And as always, some baseball talk. That and more on this Reaction Monday edition of Main Street Sports today for March 21st, 2022. Now to the guys that have an extra spring in their step with the new season, the Hall of Famer Mo Patton and the Sundrop Kid from Alabama, Chris Yao.
What a weekend it was. We told you on Friday it was going to be a crazy weekend. We warned you. If you did not listen to us, that is, well, not on us.
I think it was still a little wilder than even we had anticipated.
It was, in fact. But that's neither here nor there. We'll get into all of it. We'll react to NFL free agency. We'll react to more information. Well, at least the other side of the story in the Freddie Freeman saga as it continues. All that and so much more on this Reaction Monday. And it will be a lot of reactions coming your way. But before we do that, before we do anything else, we've got to go ahead and get it out of the way. JP, we're sending it to you for the results and today's schedule for the rundown.
This is the Rundown.
Let's do it.
The Monday Rundown is brought to you by Zion Christian Academy, providing a Christ-centered college prep education at an affordable cost. Call 931-388-5731 or visit zioneagles.org to schedule an appointment for a tour today. All right, here we go. High school basketball from the Class 1A semifinals. Since we last talked with you, Peabody over Clay County was East Robertson over Hampton. And then the Class 1A finals, East Robertson gets the gold ball with a 67-42 win over Peabody. Class 2A finals, East Nashville, 72-55 winners over Milan. Class 3A semifinals from Friday, Jackson Southside over Fulton in a classic 51-50. It was Greenville over Stone Memorial, 59-55. To the finals on Saturday, Greenville, no problem with Jackson Southside, 77-48, the final there. 4A semifinals from Saturday. In overtime, Dobbins-Bennett with a buzzer beater, 70-69 over Bartlett. Bearden down Lebanon, 62-44, and it was Dobbins-Bennett taking the gold ball for the first ever 4A BLUECROSS State Championship, 69-60 the final there. High school baseball over the weekend. Station Camp over Morristown East. CPA down Sevier County. It was Lebanon over Knox Halls. Montgomery Central down Seymour. Montgomery Central also fell to South Doyle. Blackman over Smyrna. Community down Colioca. Loretto defeated Spring Hill in the so-called Lamb Classic. It was Murfreesboro. The so-called. It is actually called that, isn't it?
Yeah.
I forgot that it actually is called the Lamb, something of that nature. Yeah. I forgot about that.
Not so-called, is called.
Is called. The so-called is called. Murfreesboro Central 12-4 over Lexington. Beach down Independence. Independence shut out by Good Pasture. Clarksville Northeast over Henry County. It was Dixon County over Warren County. Pope Prep fell to Arlington. Collierville over Rossview. Providence Academy over Lebanon. Pigeon Forge down CPA. CPA, though, did get a win over Science Hill, 14-1. Beard, 15-1 over Lebanon. Chattanooga Central in a tight 3-2 win over Mount Juliet. Where's that from? Mount Juliet, CHE.
See what?
Is that supposed to be Mount Juliet Christian? Maybe.
Yes.
Maybe.
Okay. All right. No worries.
CHR.
E and
CHR.
R next to each other.
They
and,
are.
you know.
Yeah, they are on the keyboard.
Good catch.
McMinn County 5-3 over Station Camp. Walker Valley over
Mount
Mount
Juliet-
Juliet Christian.
Mount Juliet, coached by Shaker. I guess. I don't know.
It was Blackman over Dixon County. Summertown defeated East Robertson. Oakland shut out Coffee County. Tullahoma in a squeaker over Stewart's Creek. Moore County shutting out Zion Christian. Portland over Gordonsville. DCA shut out Summertown. White House fell big to Gordonsville. Innsworth over Columbia Central. Nolensville defeated Tullahoma. Clarksville got a pair of wins, one over Summit, one over Smyrna. Dixon County over Beach. It was Henry County 6-1 over Northeast. West Creek over Hume Fogg shut them out. Arlington defeated Rossview. Innsworth over Independence. Watton County over Father Ryan 5-4. Station Camp over TKA. Loretto defeated Columbia Academy and MTCS over Father Ryan 12-9. Softball over the weekend. Heritage defeated Portland. It was Macon County over Father Ryan. MTCS shut out by Macon County. Mount Pleasant with a pair of wins over Colioca and Spring Hill. Loretto the same over Mount Pleasant and Zion Christian. Zion Christian did get a win over Community. Community got 3 wins over the weekend over Colioca, Spring Hill, Mount Pleasant. Zion Christian another pair of wins over Community and Loretto. Powell defeated MTCS. Green Hill over Oakland. Page fell to Corinth out of Mississippi. White County 3-0 over Page. Gibbs shut out by Riverdale. Riverdale also defeated the Lady Knights. Nolensville and Riverdale with a 1-1 draw. Weather?
Yeah, it's in pool play. They
Pool
have
play?
a drop dead time
Gotcha.
limit.
All right, Rockville 3-0 over Lebanon. Siegel defeated Columbia Academy. William Blunt fell to Smyrna. Gallatin 7-0 over Bearden. Laverne shut out by Gallatin. Gallatin also defeated Cheatham County. Green Hill got Columbia Academy. Columbia Academy, though, defeated Wilson Central. Wilson Central defeated Siegel. Gibbs over Nolensville. Beach over Clarksville. Green Hill also defeated Clarksville. Clarksville got a pair of wins, though, over Oakland and William Blunt. Columbia Academy defeated Dixon County, and Moore County shut out Richland. On the pitch, boys soccer, Fairview over Pigeon Forge 4-1. Brentwood 1-0 over McGill Tulin. And Hendersonville over McCauley 4-3. Station Camp defeated they tied actually Cornerstone out of Texas. Station Camp also took on Fayetteville from Arkansas and shut them out 2-0. Dixon County shut out by Daphne, Alabama 7-0. Brentwood over Oak Ridge. Mount Juliet over Cleveland. Siegel defeated Mount Juliet. Hendersonville over Valor Collegiate. Daphne, Alabama defeated White House Heritage. It was Dixon County falling to Hilldale from Oklahoma. Mount Juliet falling to West 1-0. It was Siegel over Cleveland. And it was also Hendersonville shutting out Summit. Station Camp fell to Wando from South Carolina. And then White House Heritage also lost to Wren from South Carolina as well, the Palmetto State. College baseball, Jacksonville State sweeps Lipscomb over the weekend 3-0. Belmont defeated Wofford 2-1 in their series. St. Louis sweeps Austin P in their 3-game set. Old Dominion took 2 of 3 from the Blue Raiders of Middle Tennessee State. Tennessee swept South Carolina. And Division II, Trevecca over Ohio Dominican. 3-1 in that 4-game set. Cumberland sweeps Campbellsville 3-0. JUCO baseball, Ball State over Columbia State in 6 innings, 15-5, and Columbia State 5-3 over Ball State. Yes.
Vanderbilt also swept Missouri.
Hey, there we go. Anchor down, baby. College softball. It was, yeah, thank you very much. College softball. We got SEMO swept Tennessee State in a 3-game set. North Florida took 2 of 3 from Lipscomb. Belmont sweeps Austin P in 3 games. MTSU down Southern Miss, got 2 of 3. Arkansas got 2 of 3 from Tennessee. Division II, Trevecca swept Kentucky Wesleyan in a 2-game set. Cumberland defeated Pikeville 3 of 4. And in JUCO, Ball State swept Columbia State in 2 games. NCAA men's basketball, the NCAA tournament, Michigan, the 11th seed over the 3-seeded Volunteers of Tennessee, 76-68. In the NIT, Vanderbilt took down the top-seeded Dayton Flyers in overtime, 70-68, and MTSU down California Baptist 64-58 down in Florida. NCAA women's tournament, Tennessee over Buffalo 80-67. Belmont defeated Oregon in double overtime 73-70. NBA action. The Grizzlies fell to the Hawks 120-105, but they did get the Rockets 122-98. The Predators got a win over Toronto 6-3, and MLS over the weekend, Nashville fell to Real Salt Lake 2-1. Looking to today, the schedule, high school baseball. Yeah, we're just to the today now. East Robertson at Westmoreland, Stewart's Creek and Blackman will play. Summertown at Lawrence County. That's a spicy game. Riverdale at Oakland, extra spicy. Glencliff at Stratford. Collinwood hosting Zion Christian. Eagleville welcomes Murfreesboro. Central Colioca is at Fayetteville today. Gallatin welcomes Friendship Christian. Mount Pleasant at Hampshire. Lebanon takes on Cookville Community, and Richland will play. Tennessee Heat at Santa Fe. Station Camp takes on Friendship Christian. Fairview at Sycamore. Summit at Brentwood. Independence welcomes Marshall County. John Overton hosts Hillwood. Centennial is at Nolensville. Ravenwood welcomes Smyrna. Creekwood is at Waverly. McCracken County, Kentucky, is at Clarksville as they head across the state line there. It is Clarksville Academy at Springfield today. Pope Prep welcomes Father Ryan. FRA at Columbia Academy. Doubleheader action on a beautiful Monday afternoon. BGA at Grace Christian. MTCS is hosting Providence Christian at the Jim Painter Classic. Franklin at Columbia Central, and Spring Hill will take on Huntsville from Alabama. That Huntsville. High school softball, Columbia Academy at Coffee County. Blackman welcomes Rockville. Laverne hosts Friendship Christian. Riverdale at Oakland. Zion Christian at Spring Hill. It is Colioca versus Moore County. Siegel and Eagleville will play. Lebanon and Gallatin. Summit at Green Hill. Loretto hosts Wayne County. Mount Pleasant at Richland. Santa Fe welcomes Lewis County. East Robertson at Station Camp. Smyrna at Brentwood. Columbia Central hosts Shelbyville. Page at Independence. Fairview's at McEwen. Waverly will host Northeast. Ravenwood at Lipscomb Academy. Nashville Christian is at Ezel Harding today. In boys soccer on the pitch, Columbia Central at Coffee County. It is East Robertson hosting Knowledge Academies. Zion Christian at East Hickman. CPA at Page, and Columbia Academy travels to the Webb School. College baseball, Faulkner at Cumberland today. Should be underway. First pitch scheduled for 2. NCAA men's basketball, MTSU versus the Terriers from Boston U. That's at 5 o'clock today. Tell me the name of this tournament again. The CBI tournament.
College basketball invitation.
There you go. Down in Florida. So Blue Raiders playing. NCAA women's basketball, Belmont and Tennessee. Tonight at 6 at 6:30. It is Wake Forest at MTSU and the WNIT. And Liberty at Vanderbilt at 7. NHL, the Preds out on the left coast in Anaheim to take on the Ducks, 9 p.m. Central on Valley Sports South. That is your Monday rundown.
How come it's okay to say left coast but not left side of Minnesota? I'm just asking. I got pretty well drilled for that. Come on now.
I think that was just you.
Yeah, it's just you.
Oh man, what a great what an incredible rundown that was. I don't know how you did it, JP. I'm gonna be honest with you. It was more than I cared to write, much less say. So well done.
JP's a trooper.
He really
I'm here for you. I'm here for you.
Let's take a quick break. Our top story today, it comes from the National Football League, and we will get into it much deeper than we have time for now. But Matt Ryan is headed to the Colts, so stick around. In the second half, we will have our thoughts on what that means for the Titans. So, but first, Zach Womble, he's going to join us to talk about Tennessee. Normally we would have Zach on to talk about high school sports in Sumner County, and I'm sure that there will be something said about high school sports in Sumner County. But
Chris, let me read between the lines of what you're saying. You're providing a noose is what you're providing.
it's exactly what I'm giving him just enough rope.
Just enough rope.
But he's going to talk a little Tennessee basketball and what happened over the weekend. So we'll get to it. Come back with us here on Main Street Sports Today. We'll be back. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck, yes. That'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Tennessee, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Welcome back here to Street Sports today. Glad to have you with us here on this Reaction Monday, as we have plenty to react to. Going to get into the NCAA men's basketball tournament here momentarily. Obviously, there will be some Major League Baseball talks, high school sports coming up as well, NFL, and much more. Don't forget about our 30-second takes in segment 6, but there will be also a few things that go around the rest of the Southeastern Conference in hoops, which, well, is quite simply nowhere near what we touted right here on this show. So we've been wrong enough times that it is what it is. We're going to say what we think, and if we're wrong, we're wrong. It happens. Same can be said for some of our current guests on the line.
We've only got one, but yeah.
Sometimes when you're wrong, you're wrong. But we're going to give Zach Womble a chance to defend himself today. On Saturday, Zach tweeted that, and not just Zach. I want to say this. This is not a Zach Womble take. This is a take that is very popular across a lot of folks in our world and beyond.
Doesn't make it right.
Says that, this loss here is because Rick Barnes just can't win in the tournament. I was obviously just as angry as Zach was at the time. I felt like it was on the players, and he said he felt like it was on Coach Barnes, and I asked him to defend his take. He said, hey, just have me on your show. I'll defend it. So here he is.
You're on the show.
Zach,
defend it. Defend
your stance. I'm here for it.
Well, guys, to be honest with you, I think you look at the last 25 years, and that speaks for itself. I mean, this is a guy that routinely struggles in the month of March, and you say, well, wait a minute. They won the SEC tournament for the first time in 43 years. Well, who did they beat in the SEC tournament that you hang your hat on? Is it the team that lost to St. Peter's in the first round? And I know St. Peter's went on to beat the mighty Murray State Racers in the second round, but I'm
going to stop you for a second because I'm sorry. Who did you want them to beat?
Listen, you can only beat who's in front of you, right?
Exactly.
But they were aided in other teams losing. I mean, playing Texas A&M a team that, got into the not in tournament for the championship, it would have looked better had they played somebody like an Arkansas or an Auburn or somebody like that. So, yes, you can only beat the teams that are in front of you, but let's not pretend the road to the championship was all that difficult, if you will. I mean, the teams that they played outside of Kentucky, and again, a team that lost to a 15 seed St. Peter's team, wasn't all that great. You beat Mississippi State, who fired their coach, Kentucky, who routinely is a good team, and then you play Texas A&M, who wasn't even good enough to make it into the NCAA tournament.
Based on a few people's opinion. I think we all here agree. I don't know about you, Zach. The Texas A&M deserved to be in the tournament.
Yeah, sure.
At the time. Now looking back at the SEC, I don't think
I don't know if anybody deserved to be in the tournament.
Yeah. So I mean, you can argue that, and I'll listen to it. Who would they have gone in place of? I'm not really sure. You can argue that they should have been in the tournament. Do what?
Alabama for one.
Alabama. Yeah. So
I'm just trashing on Bama. Don't worry.
But anyway, to my point about the NCAA tournament, they were up 6 to 8 points with 8 minutes to go. Michigan switched to a zone defense, and Rick Barnes just had no answer for it. And I made the comment around halftime when it was a close game to some buddies that I was scared to death because I knew that Rick was going to have to make adjustments, and I knew he wouldn't. I knew his team would not make adjustments. And did they miss some open threes? Yes. Should they have taken more threes? Potentially, possibly throughout the entire game. What were they, 2 for 18? Maybe they should have taken 25 and made 3, 4, 5, or 6 of them, because I think if you take some more threes and you probably make a few more to maybe make up that point differential. But it was very clear that when it became a one possession ball game, that Juwan Howard was in a different stratosphere compared to Rick Barnes. I made the off-cheat comment that if Kevin Barnes couldn't get Kevin Durant to the Final Four, what the hell was I thinking that he could get John Fulkerson to the Final Four? But there's a lot of truth to that, because that was the best Tennessee team that Rick Barnes will probably ever coach at Tennessee. Kennedy Chandler is the best point guard that Tennessee has ever had in their program's history. All due respect to C.J. Watson, who went on to have a pretty good career in the National Basketball Association. But Kennedy Chandler is the best point guard in team history, and he wasted a performance by Kennedy Chandler. And Kennedy Chandler is not returning next year, and so where do they go from here? Ziggy, he's obviously going to be a really good piece next year. Vescovi, obviously a really good player that couldn't get going in the tournament. But I just think there was a lot of areas in which Rick Barnes could have helped his team out. I don't remember, and I'm not going to lie to you, I didn't go back and watch a game for the second or third time. But in the moment, I remember
once was enough.
Once was enough, exactly. But I can remember in the moment thinking, maybe we should call a timeout here, or maybe we should try to slow it down here. And they never did that. He never did that. He did
call a timeout when it was a one possession game with a minute and a half to go. He called a timeout. He set up a play. We dribbled around and got a freaking shot clock violation. That's on Rick Barnes?
Potentially, depending on
how.
Listen,
dribbled the basketball, passed it 3 times with open shots, and did not get a shot off after a timeout.
Chris, it sounds like to me, like a lot of Tennessee fans, you want to look at who Rick Barnes is off the court.
I'm not looking at Rick Barnes. Rick Barnes did not at all factor into my decision that the players who were on the court.
So you don't think the head coach matters at all?
The basketball.
You don't think the head coach matters at all? So it was all like it was all the players too. When Butch Jones was the football coach, for example, he was never at fault, right?
What I'm telling you is that there was a one possession basketball game. Tennessee's basketball players, the 5 best players that they have, Jordan Josiah James, Kennedy Chandler, Ziggy, Vescovi, Fulkerson, were on the floor. If there's anybody else on that bench you'd like to have on the floor instead of those 5, please tell me who it would be.
So when Ziggy got the ball at the top of the key with the shot clock running down, instead of shooting a wide open 3, he tried to drive it right. Shoot the 3. Was Rick Barnes in the timeout telling him, don't shoot the 3, you're 2 of 18? I mean, we don't know the answer to that.
I don't know
the
that,
answer to that.
if you are a player with any awareness, I don't know that you necessarily need to be told, don't shoot the three. You're 2 of 18. Maybe Ziggy turned that shot down. Maybe he shouldn't have, because I thought he should have shot it.
There were three,
Yeah, so
three open looks on that possession that did not get taken.
and why were they not taken? They were all long range shots.
That's the thing. We don't know.
Yeah, so I mean,
maybe they were in their head about 2 of 18.
And maybe Rick Barnes didn't instill the confidence that a head coach should instill during those timeouts. Yeah, no, I mean, everybody wants to give a pass to Rick Barnes, and everybody wants to see past the flaws.
No, everybody doesn't.
This isn't about giving Rick Barnes. This isn't about giving Rick.
He's going to teach him to change their tire. He's going to help them change their oil. He's going to do everything he can off of the floor, and so everybody wants to look past.
That still doesn't matter. None of that matters.
Nobody's giving Rick Barnes a pass, Zach. But
I think
we don't know who's in the huddle. Okay, let me ask you this. Every coach in college basketball is available. Who do you want coaching the University of Tennessee's men's basketball team?
So I had that conversation with Casey Patrick, our esteemed colleague in Cheatham County. That's the sad part. I don't think there is a better option out there. I think you just have to live with what you got at this point, which is a coach that will do great things during the regular season, but when tournament time comes, when it all matters, when everything is on the line, he's going to fall short each and every time. That's the sad part, is you have no one else that's really a better option out there. To be honest, I mean, I can't answer that. No, to answer your question, no one. I'm not saying that he needs to be fired, but I think he needs to be held accountable for his shortcomings.
But what?
If you're going to hold him accountable for his shortcomings, then you also got to recognize the 27 wins and the first Southeastern Conference tournament championship since 1979.
And I recognize the regular season success, and I recognize him winning the SEC tournament for the first time since 1979. 1,000%. I recognize that. But at the end of the day, all that matters is what you do in March. No one's going to remember the 27 wins in 5 years. No, I mean, yeah, they'll remember the SEC championship because you get to hang a banner for it. But when you see that banner, it's just gonna have more anger to it, because you're gonna say, "Damn, that was a good team that fell short once again under Rick Barnes." And this isn't a
here's
in Tennessee.
Here's what I'm getting from Zach is, in 5 years, we're not going to remember all the good things, because it's just not there, right? So what we can do, though, is go back 25 years and look at Rick Barnes's career as a whole and say, well, he's just not good enough or whatever. But you can look at the past for one thing and not for the other, and that's fine. It's neither here nor there. I'm talking about Saturday night. And the fact is that Rick Barnes did not lose the basketball game for the University of Tennessee. The players were the ones who went 2 of 18 from three. This is exactly after the Arkansas loss. This is exactly how we said on this show this season would end. We said on this show, Tennessee is going to lose in the tournament on a night where they can't get anything to fall. It's going to have nothing to do with coaching. And here's the thing. Juwan Howard didn't necessarily out-coach Rick Barnes, but what he did was make a great adjustment to go to a zone, because the only way to get a team out of a zone is to shoot them out of it.
And UT
Tennessee couldn't do
Saturday.
it. So what adjustment can you make as a coach? There's no adjustment to beating a zone other than make shots.
Yes, there is. Yes,
Tennessee
there is. You don't have to shoot the three if you're in a zone, Chris. Like, you can go high post all day long. You can shoot the 15-footer. You don't necessarily have to shoot the long range ball.
Nobody is shooting the 15-footer in college basketball.
0 people.
Just because
nobody is shooting the mid-range jumper in college basketball.
There's plenty of people that shoot the mid-range jumper in college basketball. There's plenty of people that shoot it at the next level. Okay, just because it's a lost art doesn't mean it doesn't happen. But listen, you're telling me,
get to be a lost art?
Because the 3 ball became so prevalent to everybody, and everybody realized the 3 is worth more than 2.
And you know what every coach in high school basketball is telling their kids every single day of the week, Zach? If you've ever been to a high school basketball practice, you've heard this. Get out from behind the 3-point line. Now, that ain't coaching. That's kids seeing that line, stepping up. Matter of fact, we talked about it at the Blue Cross championships. You know why people don't shoot well at the Blue Cross championships? Because they stand behind the blue 3-point line. That's the college line instead of the high school line, and it screws them up. Every kid wants to be behind that line.
Wherever the line is.
Wherever the line is. It's not coaching, man.
I mean, listen, we can agree to
here's the
disagree.
thing. I think blaming Rick because of his career is easy. It's an easy narrative.
Because it's true.
I don't see how last year's team has anything to do with this year's team.
I don't see how Kevin Durant and DJ Augustin have anything to do with this team either.
Kevin Durant ain't
bring
crap anywhere except when he had Steph Curry. Kevin Durant ain't done nothing in his career.
But it's Rick's fault.
You're right. He hasn't done anything. You're right. He hasn't done anything.
He ain't won a championship anywhere except for in San Francisco. And that's because the team he joined had already won the championship.
Who got the finals MVP?
He ain't done nothing.
Who got the finals MVP?
He's not done anything outside of San Francisco in his career. He's not won a championship anywhere else. But that's
when put on the platform to succeed, he was the best player on the court. When put on the platform to succeed, he was the best player on the court.
And the best 5 Tennessee players were on the court Saturday night. But guess what? They didn't get it done. So therefore, it's Rick Barnes' fault. Zach,
it's always going to be Rick Barnes' fault.
You did a great job defending your point. I still think you're crazy, but I appreciate you at least putting yourself out there and trying to defend the point. And hopefully, there's going to be a lot of people who agree with you, Zach. I mean, the facts are a lot of people agree with you, man.
I mean, listen, it is what it is. Like I said, I think a lot of people just want to defend Rick for who he is off of the court. And, I think that's what it comes down to.
I just want you to know we're not doing that. We're not defending Rick Barnes because of who he is as a person. We are defending Rick Barnes because we feel like it's not all his fault.
Well, when it happens again next year, I guess we'll have the same conversation.
Or we'll just replay this one.
Yeah.
Zach Womble, Main Street Preps, with us here on Main Street Sports today. We are going to go to a break. And when we come back, what are we talking about?
Braves.
We're talking about Braves. We're talking about the former Atlanta Braves first baseman. It will probably be just as contentious.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm already worked up now, so yeah. Freddie's about to get it.
Let's go.
Take us to a break, JP. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50 plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Tennessee. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the TSSAA.
What better way to start your mornings every weekday than with all the latest news from around Middle Tennessee with Big Joe Dubin? Join Big Joe and Justin each weekday at 7 a.m. for the most up-to-date news and more from around the entire mid-state. It's Mornings on Main Street. Big Joe Dubin, 7 a.m. on all of our Main Street social media platforms. Back to a spirited Mo and Chris, particularly Chris, the Sundrop kid from Alabama, got his blood pressure up just in time to talk a little Freddie Freeman. You all right over there?
Yeah, and this is not a good time to go into Freddie Freeman, but the fact is that, look, Bob Nightingale's story over the weekend where he talked to Freddie Freeman and Freddie Freeman only for said story.
Oh, and Freddie Freeman's dad.
Well, I'm sorry. The Freddie Freeman camp.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean, not that Alex Anthopoulos would give Nightingale the time of day, but he also, nonetheless, Freddie basically said he was just blindsided and gutted by this decision to trade for Matt Olson. He was working out and got the notification on his phone from ESPN that that Olson was headed to Atlanta, and he called his dad and said, it's over. They've traded for Olson and I'm out. And so, it's Dodgers or bust basically. And look, Chipper told you not to play. Chipper told you. Everybody told him. Alex Anthopoulos has a job. Now,
we read some of those quotes from the Buster Only piece.
We did.
That's on ESPN. That is subscriber only. But we were able to see some screenshots of what Chipper said with regards to that. So that was on Friday. Nightingale's story dropped on Saturday, I think it was.
Either Saturday or Sunday. I read it yesterday.
I'm pretty sure it was Saturday. I think it dropped on Saturday. I saw it on Saturday. So,
but Mo, tell me this.
Mm-hmm.
In what you read in the Nightingale story that basically says Freddie had no idea that this was even a possibility. At what point does the blame shift from the Braves organization and Alex Anthopoulos not getting this deal done last year to Freddie Freeman making it impossible to get it done this offseason?
For me?
Yeah.
It's already shifted.
No, I'm saying when did it shift? At what point did it shift from Alex Anthopoulos' issues last year not getting it done before the season?
It had shifted for me probably about 3 days or so after the lockout ended. Just because I had kind of gotten to a midpoint. I was kind of Switzerland there pretty much in that, if this doesn't happen, I'm cool with it. I just want to know who's accountable for it not happening. I realized that the Braves and Freddie Freeman probably should have gotten something done last offseason. But I also feel like the Braves had a representative offer out there. I think they had a fair offer out there. I think the numbers were 5 years, 140. I think Freddie was stuck on a 6 year.
He was.
I think the Braves weren't going to budge off that 6 year. They didn't want him under that contract going into his age 38 season. I can respect that because
I don't agree with it. But I respect that that's their opinion.
But here's the thing. As we talked to Thomas Harding from MLB.com last Tuesday, he said that the Braves have a way of things. And I think that was right in line, not giving him a contract for his age 38 year. I think that's right in line with the way they're going to approach things, with the way they have approached things. And, 5 years, 140, what's that, 28 a year?
It is, which is more than
he got,
which was 27.5 or something, 27.7.
So, so I had kind of started to shift in that direction that I want to see what they offered and what he gets wherever he winds up. And again, in the Buster Olney article, when we find out that Freddie's representation threw an ultimatum on the table, either 6/175 or 5/165, and take one of them within an hour. And one, AA isn't going to work that way.
Right. Ultimatums. That's the worst thing you could do.
Yeah. But two, for Freddie to then come back and act like he had no knowledge of any of this going down.
Right.
Because again, as I said on Friday when we talked about this, the agent works for you. So you and your
He ain't
agent,
fired him yet.
so you and your agent need to get on the same page with regards to this. I mean, it's Chipper told him, don't play with this because you're going to get burned. And for him to make it seem like he had no knowledge, somebody knew something.
So for me, I feel like the 6th year should not have been that big of an issue. Now, 175 is crazy.
And it probably shouldn't have been an issue with the DH.
Exactly.
It probably shouldn't have been, but
If
it goes back to what Chipper said. If he wanted to be an Atlanta Brave, he'd be an Atlanta Brave.
Exactly. If he wanted to be a Brave, he would have taken the 5 years. He would have done exactly. There would have been some sort of meeting point.
Mm-hmm.
But there was never going to be a meeting point because they were stuck on 6 years. And that's fine. Good for you, Freddie.
You got your 6th year.
And
You got it in LA.
And he gets paid through 2040. He's going to get that Bobby Bonilla contract.
And he's home.
He's home. His family gets to watch him play where he's routinely been pretty bad over the course of his career. He's never played well on the West Coast, at least not for us. Of course, now he'll be a 60-plus home run hitter or something.
And that's fine.
But neither here nor there. I'm still not upset with Freddie. I'm not upset with Alex Anthopoulos.
I'm certainly not upset with Alex Anthopoulos, especially with what he's done in the aftermath. I am a little disappointed in the stance
I agree
that Freddie Freeman has taken and that he's put forth, because he has tried to scapegoat the Braves front office in some way, shape, or form on this, where if he really wants to blame somebody, he probably needs to look at his representation.
And I think that's got to be the key there. So, all right, let's take some halftime break here, and we'll be back with the second half after halftime. So you guys stick around here on Main Street Sports Today. We'll be back after this.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Tennessee, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
So, McDonald's and Arby's are now in a beef.
I'll give you a ding. I'll give you one.
It was just so obvious, though.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know what else they could be in. a snit? What? I mean,
yeah, spat just doesn't quite do it.
No,
yeah.
no. I mean,
Let's hope not.
there's
No.
nothing.
Please do
Yeah.
not have a
No
spat.
spats. No spatting.
It's a spat-free zone, please.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't know what else they could be in. So that was really kind of a
Yeah.
cheap.
Well, sometimes low-hanging fruit is
still
what
fruit.
it's still fruit.
Again, Anyway,
Is there actually more to the story? I mean, that's
No.
plenty. I mean, that's all you need.
I think that's
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, but here's the
Yeah.
thing: is the beef is actually over the fish. So apparently, there. This is what halftime was meant for. I don't
Yes.
care what anybody says. I needed to get off my blood pressure problem anyway.
Oh,
So,
boy. Okay.
Pusha T, who apparently rapped his way into jingle immortality with the I'm Loving It campaign, says he got paid peanuts. I know.
Beef, fish.
I know. That's what he said. Though.
Peanuts.
That's what he said. He said peanuts for the I'm Loving It.
Not chicken nuggets.
And he did not know. He did not get paid in chicken nuggets, although he probably would have taken that.
Yeah.
From McDonald's.
Anyway, so apparently he has decided to go to Arby's, and there is a spicy fish diss track that you can find. It's on YouTube if you want to go look it up. But it's ruthless targeted attacks against Mickey D's filet of fish.
Okay.
Filet of fish is ish, but not. And you should be disgusted. The ad overlays surreal images of a clown holding up bags of money. I guess they got Jeremy Pruitt to star in that.
A couple of dings on that one. Well done.
A sailboat sinking into the ocean, and a close-up slow motion, a shot of a bear eating a fish. The tone is firmly tongue-in-cheek.
Fairly?
Firmly.
Okay.
Yeah.
That too.
Anyway, so it's interesting, and if you want to hear it, feel free. But yeah, I think the fact that it's probably the greatest story that I have ever seen involving two. The sign wars were a big thing for a while.
Yeah. With
the chicken sandwich, but this is next level. So.
Beefing over fish. Film at 11.
Oh man. Why don't we get into some high school sports? Basketball has wrapped up, and baseball, softball are well underway. And of course, the Jim Painter Classic down here in Southern Middle Tennessee is about to get underway here momentarily. So we'll talk about all that, NFL, SEC hoops, and more in the second half. Y'all come back.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Tennessee. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the TSSAA.
It's the second half of Main Street Sports Today on this Reaction Monday. We'll talk a little high school spring sports as the Jim Painter Classic gets underway. Also recap Saturday, the BLUECROSS Championships in the Borough. Also news in the NFL today, the Colts have a new quarterback. It's an oldie but goodie if you're a Colts fan. Preds trade and SEC hoops, what's left of them. We'll talk about that, their performance in the tournament, that and more on this Monday, Reaction Monday, with the Hall of Famer and Sports Writer of the Year, Mo Patton, and the Sundrop Kid from Alabama, Chris Yao.
Before we get into this high school, I do want to mention that I loved what Kenley Jansen said, the new Atlanta Braves closer, I guess.
Apparently. Yeah.
Someone asked on Twitter, who is the Braves closer? And I said, everyone. Madsick? Sure. Smith? Sure. Jansen? Sure. Heck, I'll put Luke Jackson up there occasionally.
Kirby Yates.
Kirby Yates.
I mean, that's the beauty of this situation. You've got options. Now, Snit has had options before and didn't
he didn't
necessarily
use them.
exercise them. So I don't know what changes. But, you know, the great thing about this is, again, over Saturday, you know, Anthopoulos checked in with Will Smith on that situation before they pursued it.
Correct.
And Will Smith said, heck yes.
I want a ring.
I want a ring. You know, Eddie Rosario says, hey, let's roll. I want a ring. The guy that you would have expected to be most likely to say, let's run this thing back,
Is gone.
is on the West Coast.
Go figure. But anyway, I thought his Instagram post about, you know, watching Andrew Jones growing up, you know,
And his brother was in the Braves organization at one time, apparently.
interesting.
So, yeah.
I just thought it was really cool. Ardley Jansen was an
Mhm.
outfielder in the minor league system for 7 years. So it's pretty cool. Anyway, and played for Brian Snitker in Mississippi. So go figure. Anyway, just thought that was interesting. And I wanted to give a shout out to Kenley Jansen for that.
Mhm.
As we wrap up high school basketball season, state finals, as we told you in the rundown, little surprised that Dobbins, Bennett, and Bearden were in this Class 4A finals. Definitely not what we expected.
Well, I mean, no better than we've picked our bracket.
Anything else.
Yeah. It's not a shock that we missed that as well.
But Greenville was the Greenville Stone Memorial game certainly appears to have been a much more competitive than any other game Greenville had the rest of the way. So,
And I was a little shocked with the ease with which Greenville handled Jackson Southside. actually.
apparently they set a state record for 3-pointers made in a tournament.
Greenville did.
Yes. So that'll help you.
That certainly doesn't hurt. That kind of explains a 29-point win, 77-48 there, because, I mean, we watched that Jackson Northside game. I'm sorry, Jackson Southside game against Fulton in the semifinals. And really liked that Southside team. They play with a lot of grit, I thought.
Man, I think a lot of just Greenville having been there both in football and in basketball had a lot to do with, you know, maybe there's a little nerves if you're Southside.
Well, well, they played in last year's state finals.
Oh, did they?
I think. Yeah. Okay. I think there was a little bit of, we've got Jacoby Gillespie and you don't.
Yeah. No, Greenville was exactly what we expected. A really, really good basketball team that did what they should have done. Those are the facts.
Gillespie, the Belmont signee, 25 points, 10 of 20 from the floor, 3 of 8 from 3, 7 assists. And our guy from Southside that we fell in love with in that Fulton game, Jalen Cole, 8.7 boards, 5 assists, 3 of 8 from the floor. So I think that might have kind of been the difference. Well, maybe not. I mean, again, it was a 29-point game. But Greenville 14 threes.
In the game?
In the game.
There was, and I'm pretty sure I saw it from friend of the show, Heather Williams.
Mm-hmm. It's on this box score. 35 threes in the 3 games.
Is a state record.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot.
Well, that's 12 a game, roughly.
Yeah. So anyway, well done to Greenville for taking care of business. Shout out to friend of the show, Joe Williams, as his East Nashville Eagles take down Milan in the state finals, 72-55. But again, the Bulldogs still return home heroes.
Oh, yeah. What, 6 wins last year? Is that what Michael Odom said?
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, congratulations to the Bulldogs, and certainly congratulations to the Eagles, as you said. In 4A, Dobbins Bennett, after getting the Hail Mary shot to win that semifinal game, goes on to the 69-60 win over Bearden.
So in all 4 classes, we had an East sweep. 2 teams from East Tennessee, and the other 2 were East Nashville and East Robertson. Yeah, I know you got to stretch a little bit, but it's there.
Reluctantly. Reluctantly. Yeah.
Well, he's feeling good after that.
East-
McDonald's and Arby's are in a beef. So,
East Nashville.
Hey, he's on a roll after the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor. He's on a roll.
Yep. Don't stop him.
I thought you were
Yeah.
keeping with the food there. Just call me butter, baby.
Malachi Hale, 16.7 boards for Dobbins Bennett in that win. Jack Browder with a double-double, 30 points, 13 boards.
You got to
Trying to offset Bearden's double-double from Hayden Mosley, 25 points, 11 rebounds.
Hayden Mosley is, I think, probably one of the better players in that tournament. And for Dobbins Bennett, they shot the lights out too. How many threes did they hit?
Dobbins Bennett in the final game. No, they were only 6 of 16 from 3.
Well, in the rest of the tournament, they were very, very good from behind the arc. So, they were 9 of 14 against Bartlett. And then in the first game,
I tell you what,
9 of 23.
I would imagine Bearden and Dobbins Bennett were a little grudgeful over having to play their championship game in Murfreesboro.
It's like, couldn't we just meet somewhere in Knoxville?
What nothing going on at Thompson Bowling? Oh, wait a minute.
Well, there was,
I guess there was
quite a bit going on in Thompson Bowling Arena.
Yeah.
So.
But,
nonetheless,
surely we could have done this a little closer to home.
Anywhere. But and then finally again, East Robertson with the 67-42 win over Peabody.
Nice story on Main Street Preps on East Robertson coach Kirk Caton reaching out to the previous state championship coach in Cross Plains, one Columbia resident, David Colley, to get some thoughts heading into this state championship matchup. So nice piece there. Go check that out. But,
also a great piece from Blaine Keller on the Groves' grandfather, who had passed away, and apparently they had a photo canvas of him in the stands, and was their mother, Tammy, held up the 8x12-inch canvas throughout all 3 games of the tournament. So anytime you get one of those, it's pretty cool. Those stories are always nice.
I would think there's almost always been a Groves on the basketball roster at East Robertson. Taylor, the Ole Miss football signee, 24 points, 8 rebounds, 5 boards in that win over Peabody. So congrats to the Indians.
8th annual Jim Painter Classic. First pitch today at 5:00. Franklin and Columbia at Columbia Central. So go check that out if you are down here in Southern Middle Tennessee.
Also, Huntsville and Spring Hill at Dave Hall Field on the campus of Columbia State Community College at 5:00. And then Marshall County and Independence at 6 up at Indy. Games will continue the rest of the week at Columbia Central, at Independence, and at Spring Hill. And if you want to see baseball, basically just show up at Independence in the evening this week.
Yeah.
There will be a game.
There will be some games. And all the way from Clarksville, Rossview's in this tournament, Blackman, I say tournament in this classic, Lewis County, Rockville, Laverne, Clarksville, Smyrna.
This event is to pay tribute to former Columbia State national championship winning coach Jim Painter, and most of the coaches involved in these games played for Paint at C-State. So that's kind of the common thread.
The crux there.
Yeah. So should be some good baseball, particularly in these matchups. Go check them out. And
yes, do.
When we come back here on Main Street Sports Today, going to talk a little NFL.
We're going to cry a little bit.
We are going to cry a little bit because the Titans made a move over the weekend, and then they saw a move get made today that isn't great.
Certainly puts a little fear into your soul. Into your soul.
It'll get your attention.
No question. So we'll tell you what that is on the other side. We'll be right back on Main Street Sports Today. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50 plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Tennessee, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Welcome back in Main Street Sports Today as we talk about our reaction to the Tennessee Titans going out and getting a wide receiver 2 in typical J-Rob fashion, finding one who's coming off an injury. But, you know, it's weird. Our favorite teams have an affinity for players coming off of
Some sort of
injury, Tommy John surgery,
either knees or elbows. Yeah,
it's like, can we just get healthy players? Maybe. Like a figure. Nonetheless, the Titans do trade and really for, really nothing.
Rounder,
a 6th-round pick for Robert Woods, formerly of the Los Angeles Rams. I feel like it's a solid pick. He's a guy.
I think it's a great trade from the standpoint that, the Rams spoke so highly of this guy. I mean, he was pretty much their glue guy.
Captain.
Did all the dirty work in the receiving game. I mean, blocks downfield, that kind of thing. All the stuff that you love to hear out of a receiver. 556 receiving yards, 4 touchdowns in 9 games in a receiving core that also included Cooper Kupp,
OBJ eventually.
Well,
after
OBJ
Robert Jones.
Yeah, that's what prompted them to go out and get OBJ after he sustained that torn ACL. But I mean, from a mileage standpoint, he's not Julio, so there's an upgrade there, but he is, again, coming off the knee. So when he's going to be available is, I guess, a bit of an issue. But once you get him, you should be pretty solid at, like you said, at your WR2. And
here's the best part. You know what he does better than anything? Run blocks. I mean,
I think you've got to on this team.
That's what I mean, between AJ and Robert Woods,
Mm-hmm. You got some guys that don't mind it.
yeah, they love it.
Mhm.
They love getting on the outside and putting a body on somebody. So love that. CBS 29 years old. Yeah.
Yeah. And he had 936 receiving yards and 6 touchdowns and 20 after back-to-back 1,100-yard seasons. So he's put up numbers.
John Breach of CBS Sports grades the trade for the Titans an A. Widely considered one of the best run blocking wide receivers in football, Woods should fit seamlessly in the Titans' Derrick Henry-led attack. Also has a familiarity with the scheme as they both utilize offshoots of the Shanahan-style offense. His salary is pretty affordable at $10 million base, $3.5 million bonus. For the Rams, they gave it a C. So, I mean, I guess it matters what you do with that 6th-round pick.
Who did the Titans give up?
A 6th-round pick.
And that's it.
That's it. It's a pretty good deal.
Sounds like an A to me.
Yeah, exactly. So there's the and see the Rams. I mean, the Rams don't need him,
Not at this point.
so it works out for kind of everybody.
What doesn't work out?
Yeah, what doesn't work out is the and as of 3 hours ago, this had not come out. So basically, it says the new QB market has, Matt Ryan still on the market at this point. And apparently he had $7.5 million roster bonus coming at 4 p.m. Eastern today. So
Guess he didn't get that.
if they were gonna get a deal done, it had to be today, and they did. They send Matt Ryan to the Indianapolis Colts, and I'm not entirely sure what the trade completely entails, but it does have a swap of the 3rd-round pick. So, and I mean, I literally don't. A straight swap of a 2022 3rd-round pick for Ryan. So that's it.
Yep.
They gave up a 3rd-round pick for a guy who's potentially going to lead the Colts for the next 2 years.
So how many quarterbacks have changed spots this offseason?
I don't know 100%, but let's
It's got to be a good third of the league.
Well, I mean, Russell Wilson was the first, and I guess you technically have to put Drew Lock in that. All right.
Was he the starter in Denver?
He was. And the Texans, the Texans are in no man's land because their starter took off to go be a backup to Daniel Jones and may take the job in New York.
Who was that?
Tyrod Taylor.
Was he their starter?
Well, he was until he got hurt, and then Davis Mills stepped in, played pretty well. So I guess Davis Mills is the Texans starter at this point.
That's their plan, to roll with him.
Not a bad plan, I guess.
No.
So there's those 3, and then you've got Deshaun Watson, which is going to displace Baker Mayfield. So Mayfield's going to go somewhere. Matt Ryan, Carson Wentz, which displaces
Trubisky.
Mitch Well,
But he wasn't starting, was he?
He was not starting
right.
necessarily, but still, he was in the past.
He was a starter.
He was a starter last year. I don't know if did he start at all last
I
year?
don't think he did.
And then the Panthers have to do something. They're getting rid of Darnold. He's gone. So there's 7 teams right there who are in, or 7 quarterbacks who did start last year and will not be starting for the same team next year.
Right. Meanwhile, the Falcons reacted pretty quickly, signing to a 2-year deal Marcus Mariota.
there's no way Marcus Mariota is going to lead that Falcons team to any sort of prominence.
I don't know that he's going to necessarily lead them to any sort of prominence, but I will tell you this. I don't think if your intention is to tank, you bring in Marcus Mariota.
This roster, this offensive roster is worse than Mariota ever had here.
I'm going to say 2 words to you. Kyle Pitts.
Okay. He's not any better than Delaney was. I mean, based on what we saw last year in that offense, he's not any more dynamic than Delaney Walker. And he doesn't have Calvin Ridley.
No, he doesn't.
So this is my question is what is the point? I feel like you could run me or you out there and get as much done with this offense as Mariota is going to do because all he's going to do is run for his life because one, this offensive line is terrible.
My arm shot.
Terrible.
So.
Okay. Well, he's not going to get a chance to throw it, Mo. He's going to be running for his life all year long. And if he just happens to throw one up and 81 catches it, congratulations. Like, good for him. But like, I don't think Mariota is going to be the reason that they're not tanking. I think the fact is they're not going to be very good, and he's a serviceable guy. But he's also one who you don't feel like is going to get hurt being hit 50 times in a season.
Maybe so. Yeah.
That's why you get him, because that's what you do.
Gonna be interesting. But I'm a lot more concerned about Matt Ryan in Indianapolis than I am about Marcus Mariota in Atlanta at this moment.
I can't believe Cordell Patterson's elected to stay in Atlanta.
I think he likes Atlanta.
I guess that's the best reason to play there.
They have figured out how to utilize him better than anybody else in his NFL career. So
that's random.
Also, I think I saw the Saints and Jameis Winston came to an agreement.
That's good news.
It is.
For the Saints too, for that matter.
Yeah, I think it's better news for the Saints than they realize, but it's definitely good news for Jameis.
Where does Baker Mayfield end up? It's not the Colts.
It ain't the Colts. Well, I think I'd rather have him in Indianapolis than the guy they got.
Yeah. No, he beat our tails last year. Year before last.
That was an anomaly.
And a really bad defense.
Chris, to your question, who's in Seattle now?
Drew Lock. Seattle is the team that I'm thinking.
Yeah.
The only other place apparently or at least Pro Football Talk has a dark horse is Detroit.
I've seen that.
Which is interesting because I mean, Jared Goff.
No,
but I don't think Jared Goff is a bad quarterback. I think
Jared Goff and Carson Wentz are 1 and 1A.
There is a lot of similarities, or at least a feeling of similarities.
And I think that's why, when LA was able to upgrade, they did.
Mm-hmm.
And
still went to a Super Bowl, though.
He did.
In a quarterback-driven league with they got a decent defense, but he did lead them to a Super Bowl.
He got to a Super Bowl.
I don't know, man. This is a different league than it has been in the last 20 years. And I mean, I'm not saying that he was out there gunslinging it like Stafford, but he's still – I mean, he doesn't make a lot of mistakes.
Did he do more than, say, Trent Dilfer when he led his team?
Yeah, I'd say he did.
Or Brad Johnson.
Listen,
right?
He probably did more than Trent Dilfer. He may not have done as much as Brad Johnson.
I don't know, man. They had Warwick Dunn. Who was the running back for Jared Goff? Exactly.
In LA or Detroit?
in LA. Exactly. My point.
Oh,
here.
was it not Todd Gurley?
Yeah, it was Gurley. He got hurt actually, and
He got-
Anderson came in, wasn't it? Wasn't
Who?
there an Anderson
I don't know.
who like
Yeah.
who they
So,
picked
like,
up?
I think that's Chris's point.
Yes.
So
Touche to your point. Yeah,
all
absolutely.
I'm saying is I think Jared Goff could be successful in a place like LA where there's good pieces around him. He's not
Mhm.
going to be he's a top 15, he's in that 12 to 15 range, kind
You
of like
think so?
Tannehill. I think he's in the Tannehill type range. I
I
really
think
do.
he's beyond 15,
Yeah, I
but
do too.
I don't think
in
he's
the back half of the league.
at back half, maybe in the 20 range, 20 to 24.
I think y'all are nuts.
Maybe 18, but I don't think he's a top 15.
No.
Jared Goff is among the 14 people who can play NFL quarterback at a high level.
You think
No.
so?
Absolutely.
I disagree.
Well,
I can come
he
up
went
with,
to a Super
I
Bowl.
can come up with 14 better quarterbacks in the league right now than Jared Goff.
I don't think I would love to hear him. I really because I
You want to spit him out right now?
because I
Let's-
don't think there are 14
All right.
guys right
Tom
now.
Brady's back.
Hang on. Brady
Tom
is
Brady.
back. There's one.
Tannehill's in there. We like Tannehill, right?
Nope.
You don't think Tannehill's there?
Nope. After
Okay.
the last, are you
Okay.
kidding
Okay.
me?
Okay. Fair. I was just going local.
No way.
Brady.
Brady. You've got.
Stafford.
Yep. Aaron Rodgers 3.
Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson.
The top 8 or 9 are pretty obvious.
Is Matt Ryan in there?
I think Matt Ryan is in there. Yes.
Okay.
I think Matt Ryan and Jared Goff are about the same, though. I think they're both getting to a Super Bowl with the correct pieces around.
What about Trevor Lawrence?
No.
He's too young.
Too young?
Trevor
and
Lawrence,
on too bad
Tua,
a team.
Carson Wentz, Daniel Jones,
Let's go the other way.
Buffalo.
Josh Allen.
Josh Allen.
Pat Mahomes.
Pat Mahomes. How many is that? 7 or 8 already?
Mm-hmm. That's 7.
In Baltimore.
Jackson.
Yep. Lamar.
I would say he's in the 14-15 range
Burrow.
along with Goff.
Yep. Joe.
Burrow,
Absolutely.
That's 9. I'm forgetting somebody. It's right on the tip of my tongue.
Dak
Mm-hmm.
in Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
Dak Prescott. Cardinals.
Kyler
No.
Murray.
Kyler Murray.
I don't know that.
Not a chance.
I don't think Kyler's in the top half right now. I think he probably was at the beginning
Is he
of the
is
season.
he ahead of Goff?
No, not at all. If Jared Goff was in Arizona, they would have gone very deep into the playoffs last
Okay.
year.
All right.
If Jared Goff were in Arizona, they would have been very good.
No,
So what are we at, Mo?
that's 10.
10? All right.
I think Tannehill is.
I think Tannehill's
I think they're equal.
Tannehill and Golf.
I think Tannehill. I think if Jared Goff would have been in Tennessee, we do the exact same thing we did this year.
I don't know.
I think they're equal. I think he's the 13th, 14th, or 15th best quarterback in the league. That's where I'm at. Now you've got some guys like Trey Lance and the Chicago
Oh, Justin Fields.
Justin
Fields.
Fields. I don't know why I was thinking Justin Love for sure. No
Oh,
idea.
No, Green Bay.
Oh, Jordan Love. That's
Jordan
what it
Love,
is.
yeah.
Jordan Love may be better than Jared Goff, and we just don't know it. But
And
yeah,
apparently we're not going to find
and
out.
we're not ever going to
Not
find
gonna
out.
find
So, that poor guy. But Daniel Jones, I mean, Mac,
Where is Mayfield?
17, 18.
So you think Golf is better than Mayfield?
I do. But again, I think 12 to 18 are interchangeable. I really do.
Okay.
And
And you
And
think
you think he's in that group?
You think Tannehill, Mayfield,
Goff,
Golf, Murray
yeah,
are all kind of
They're-
in that same?
and I would say Lamar is, but that's just,
Lamar's got an MVP. I don't know if you can.
yeah. You saw how that MVP got him. too.
Well, I'm just telling you.
A lot of times, though, Chris, I mean, the quarterback is only as good as the folks around.
That's
Well,
true.
and that's my point. I think Jared Goff is good enough to get to a Super Bowl with a decent team, and he proved that.
He has proven that.
That's where I stand on.
Yeah.
I would be just as worried if Jared Goff were in Indianapolis as I am with Matt Ryan. The only thing that I like about Matt Ryan more is that, like Phillip Rivers, I guess, he has that experience and that
I think
leadership.
the experience is the key with Ryan going into that situation, because I think Matt Ryan is at the point in his career where he knows what he is and he knows what he's not. And I'm not sure that Jared Goff does.
It's very possible. I'm more worried about the fact that Matt Ryan can keep you honest enough to let Jonathan Taylor run. And that's scary.
And with the receiver core that they've got
a decent receiver core. And here's the thing. Am I a little worried? Yes. But the Tennessee Titans have a fantastic defense.
I'm more worried, though, than I was with Carson Wentz.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And he still almost beat us. So on a bum ankle, two bum ankles. So there's that.
But it was early.
It
was before that defense became
stupid.
That
Colts.
defense.
It's just because of the Colts, man.
That's part of it. Yeah.
Ugh. Anyway,
we didn't get to talk about the.
We didn't. Oh, the Preds.
Mhm.
The Preds went and got a pretty big trade last night. I got the Athletic notification and thought it was a pretty big deal to see the Seattle Kraken sending what is probably their best, and I can't pronounce his name. Probably their best defensive player, Jakob Kondelik. I can't say it. Anyway,
Google it.
They went and got a Jeremy Lauzon from Seattle and sent a second-round pick. It's pretty good. That's Seattle's best defensive player. Preds needed a defender pretty bad. They were just standing there in front of Saros, watching folks pepper Saros with pucks on Saturday. So anyway, let's take a quick break and come back and talk a little SEC hoops, get you some quick takes right after this.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Tennessee, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Main Street Today is your half-hour coffee break with Devin O'Day, featuring lifestyle inspiration and entertainment news. Main Street Today airs live weekdays at 11 a.m. Central, or you can catch it on demand on all of our Main Street Media social platforms, including highlights on Instagram at Main Street Today Radio. Take your daily coffee break with Devin O'Day on Main Street Today, weekdays 11 a.m. on Main Street Media social media platforms.
All right, real quick. Here, let's just do 30-second takes on the SEC. One SEC team gets to the Sweet 16, and that is the team that Vanderbilt beat on the road.
The only team out of the top four that lost an SEC home game,
and yet
is the one that's in the Sweet 16.
Here they are.
Call them Hogs.
How you feeling about them?
Not had a chance to watch. Well, I guess I watched a little bit of that Vermont game in the opening round. Don't ask me how I feel about anybody after the bracket I put out there.
I mean, do they have a chance to beat Gonzaga?
Yeah, I think so.
If Memphis had a chance to beat them, I don't know why Arkansas wouldn't.
Absolutely.
The only concern
Even
is,
being out west?
only thing is Gonzaga's got a week to get ready for Arkansas. They only had 2 days to get ready for Memphis.
That's true.
Sure. Yeah, I think it's going to be a good basketball game. Would not surprise me if Arkansas wins, but I mean, I feel like we thought that the Southeastern Conference was arguably the best conference in the country, and it's clearly not.
Clearly.
So-
Maybe the
Clearly.
committee knew what they were doing with not
We're not taking A&M.
We're not taking A&M and not moving Tennessee up. And
Well, if you thought Kentucky and Auburn were 2 seeds, Tennessee was a 2 seed. I still think they missed that. But that's neither here nor there.
Yep.
Is what it is. Anyway, ton of new coaches. Georgia's hired a coach.
So here's the deal.
Okay.
You had 6 teams reach the NCAAs
Right.
out of the SEC. Of the remaining 8, 6 are changing or have changed coaches.
That's correct. Now, there are new coaches at Georgia, which is from Florida, so whatever. And then Florida hired San Francisco Don's coach, Todd Golden, and then Mississippi State hired a coach.
Chris Jans from New Mexico State, fresh off their win over UConn in the opening round.
Okay.
Before losing to Texas Tech last night, I think.
Correct.
Yeah.
Missouri has a coach.
Do they? Did I miss it? Clearly I did if they do.
Yeah. I saw a tweet last night crying about it.
Dennis Gates.
Dennis Gates, yeah.
From where?
I want to say he's also from Cleveland State.
They didn't make the postseason this year, did they?
No, but they did last year, I think. But Dennis Gates is expected to be voted upon. So I assume that's a 7:00 tomorrow morning. They will approve his contract.
Oh, okay.
So Dennis, don't call me Kevin Gates, the new coach at Missouri. But that leaves South Carolina, who apparently is looking at Lamont.
Looking toward Chattanooga.
Yeah. And
Lamont Paris.
LSU potentially going after Matt McMahon
From Murray.
to not doing the Sweet 16 shuffle.
My thing is this. Why, if you're Matt McMahon, do you take that job?
the LSU job.
Uh-huh.
It's a fair question. I think it's still the SEC, and
Well, I mean, we talked with Scott Rabelais last week from the Baton Rouge Advocate,
Yeah.
and particularly not knowing what's coming from the NCAA for these 11 violations, 8 level 1s sustained under previous coach and Franklin Road Academy graduate Will Wade. So I don't know. I mean, I just think that he would have some other less restrictive opportunities.
and going to the but get out of there before you get to the Missouri Valley Conference,
could be. However, though,
because you can always go back.
You know, there's a time. I mean, there's that sweet spot when you got to go because you can stay too long.
I think he might be in that spot.
you think so?
Well,
I mean, Murray State will make the tournament, right?
but the Valley is tough. The Valley's way tougher than Ohio Valley.
No, without question.
And it's not-
and just look at the fact that Belmont's going with them.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I think again, you can always go back.
Yeah.
You can always go back to a mid-major.
and
if you stay
it's
too
easier
long,
to go back with that little bundle of cash that you made.
oh yeah, absolutely.
True.
And they'll pay you not to coach.
Yeah.
At their place.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
Yeah.
probably a good point. And for South Carolina, I think Lamont Paris would not be a bad option.
I don't think he would be a bad option at all if you, and clearly they do, feel like they needed to get away from Frank Martin. I'm not sure what was. I think that maybe South Carolina just needed another voice.
I didn't realize, because I was a little taken back about him when the news came down, but apparently they only made the NCAA one time in his 10-year tenure. One time. Now, it was a hell of a run.
Yeah, I was about to say, didn't they go to the Final
The
Four?
Final Four. But he only made the NCAA tournament one time in 10 years. So when you look at it that way,
I don't know that I realize that either.
I didn't.
But here's the thing. Much like we started the show, Is South Carolina one of those bastions of men's college basketball where we just expect them to be making Final Four runs every year, or
You
what?
get a taste of that, you expect to go back.
That's the biggest issue.
You set that bar.
But
I mean, it's
Screwed up.
He's a product of his own success.
There you go. Victim of his own
Victim of
success.
his own
It's
success.
like Nolan Richardson used to
Yeah.
say, once you create the monster, you have to
Feed
feed
it.
the
Feed it.
monster. Yeah,
Yep.
but I mean, was that run, was that the exception, or was that the rule? And it's not like they had made a bunch of those before he got there.
No,
So
but they haven't been back to the tournament since.
Well,
And they
he's
didn't
been-
go
he's been to
before
more-
that.
He's been to more Final Fours than Rick Barnes has.
That's true.
well, maybe UT should hire Frank
Maybe
Martin.
they'll hire Frank Martin. Hey, would you
Zach would be happy.
would you take one Final Four run over 5 round of 32 exits?
I guarantee you, against UT fans would.
Absolutely.
I
A
would.
Final Four run.
I would take not making the tournament 9 times out of 10 if that one time was a Final Four run. I would do it. I would take it.
A Final Four is
Because what's the difference between not making the tournament and underachieving and losing in the round of 32? That's
You're not wrong.
Yep.
I'd take the
I'd
one
rather go to the NIT, win a couple of games there.
every time.
Yeah.
Play them at home.
Anchor down, baby.
Hey,
How about those crowds?
crowds
At Memorial.
were great.
How about Shane Foster going down and sitting in the crowd for the overtime last night?
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Anyway, we're way over time, but it was a good show. I enjoyed it. Today was a lot of fun. I hope you guys enjoyed it as well.
And here's the thing: it's a long show, and it's about to get longer because we need to mention UT and Belmont. What, 5 o'clock
5 o'clock? No, 6 o'clock.
6
6 o'clock tip.
Central?
6 o'clock Central on
Okay.
ESPN. I think it's either ESPN or it's on the Deuce.
One of the ESPNs.
5 o'clock is MTSU. Women.
That's right.
Okay.
But that's not on TV unless it's on Stadium or
And
something.
it's not
so.
the NCAA.
It's the women's NIT. But anyway, Tennessee Belmont tonight is going to be a blast. Check it out. We'll talk about it tomorrow, and we'll have our top 5. We've got a couple of options for top 5. We'll pick one, so it should be fun. Maybe the what ifs in sports, because that was,
Well, the biggest Tennessee disappointments in tournament.
isn't it? What if Rick Barnes wasn't the
This guy.
Tennessee coach?
This guy over here,
Anyway, we'll be back
Low hanging
tomorrow.
fruit, Mo. Low hanging fruit.
still fruit, right?
We'll be back tomorrow, y'all. Have a good one.